Hello, good evening, and welcome to our daily devotion. We're going to continue our journey we started on Wednesday, looking at how to navigate interruptions in our lives. And these are the things that happen when we're on our way to getting something. There's a promise, and then there's the middle, and then there's the end of the promise. So the interruptions, what happens there, like every year, we all start with a good year. We make plans of what we want to achieve this year. Because again, when you make your plans, we'll make our plans of what we want to achieve in the year. We always look at the end of the journey. We don't really plan what's going to happen in between. From when we're starting to where we're going, there's always the middle part of it. So the middle is what I call interruption. So within that period, a lot of things going to happen. So our main text is taken from the book of Mark chapter 5 from verse 21. Concerning a man called Jairus. When the daughter was ill and he came to Christ for Christ to come and heal his daughter, Christ said, I'm going to go with you. But on the way going, they had a crowd. Then within that period, they had a woman that had an issue of blood that came to Christ because she believed that once she touched the hem of Christ's garment, she'll be made whole. Now, there was that time in between of when Christ promised the man, I'm going to go heal your daughter, and then encountered the woman with the issue of blood that had been suffering for 18 years, to the actual time that Christ actually went to the house to pray for the daughter. There was that space in between where there was about, I call it interruption, because that was something in between. But today we're going to look at the story of a man called Jacob in the book of Genesis chapter from 29, 30, and 31. Because these are things that happen. So we'll look at what I consider attitude, because our attitude in the midst of interruption, our attitude in the midst of when life throws up unplanned event to us, how we respond to that is going to determine what's going to happen at the end. Now, a man said something. He said this. I read a quote. He said, look, whatever that happens in our life is just 10%. And then how we respond to that event is 90% of the time. So whatever that happens in our life is just a small part. Now, I'm not trying to make light of life event, but whatever that happens to us happens, and then we need to continue living our life. Now, let's go to the book of Jacob. The book concerning Jacob. Jacob, after he cheated his brother from his birthright, he had to run away. So the mother helped him to run. And he ran to his uncle's place, Laban. And while he was there, he met a lady. One of Laban's daughters was Rachel. And because Rachel was beautiful, so he said, I'm going to marry your daughter. However, I'm going to pay the price for her. The price I'm going to pay for Rachel was 7 years of labor for you. And they agreed on it. Then after 7 years, Laban changed the deal. So what did he do? He gave Jacob the eldest daughter, who was Leah, because according to custom, it's not good, it's not proper for the younger one to be married before the elder one. So there was a change in the business. So then what did Jacob do? Jacob had to serve another 7 years, so 14 years altogether to get what he wanted. But again, if you go to Genesis chapter 31, Jacob also mentioned that during his time with Laban, the man changed his wages more than 10 times. Now, if we are in that position, how are you going to react? When things doesn't go as planned, how do you react to circumstances? When there's issues in life, where even the one you plan by yourself, even the one that has happened by our own choice, or the one that happened as out of our control, how do we respond? Now, Bible says, Philippians chapter 2, it says, let this man be in you that was also in Christ Jesus. So we're encouraged to have the same attitude that was found in Christ. Meaning that irrespective of what's going on in our life, we always have to maintain a good and positive attitude. We might not be happy with the circumstance, we might not be happy with what's going on, but our attitude will always define and determine what is going to happen at the end of the how that event is going to turn out, whether it's going to turn out for our own good or it's going to turn out for negative. Because when we have a negative attitude towards anything, it is difficult to turn it around. But when you have a positive attitude, okay, but this has happened in my life, and then we are going to react differently to it. That's when the miracle comes, and that's when the goodness comes. That's when God can turn something that's negative and turn it into positive. A lot of us, this has happened in our lives, but how we react and respond to it has never been the best. So let's be mindful that when event happens, Let's react in a positive ways, and we're going to see things turn around. So thank you for joining me. God bless you. Join me again next time.